Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Closing the Gap, Creating B2B E-Commerce with a B2C Experience. I'm Megan Souza, Marketing Manager here with Done Solutions Group. Before we get started today, I would like to go over a few items. This session will be recorded, and we will send out a link to the recording to everyone who registered within 24 to 48 hours after the presentation. We also have recordings of all previous webinars on our website in the event that you missed any in the past at donesolutions.com. Also, if you have any questions during today's presentation, we encourage you to submit them and we will address them if we have time for at the end of the presentation. If that question is somewhat complex and we need more time, we do promise to follow up with you for those. So let's take a look at today's agenda. I will begin by doing introductions to Done Solutions Group. From there, I will turn it over to today's presenter, Jack Bullis, Senior Development Consultant here at Done Solutions. Jack will discuss e-commerce growth. We will then go into B2B e-commerce challenges, how SAP Hybris meets those challenges, and then we'll do a demonstration, after which we will take any questions that you may have. So let's begin. Done Solutions has a long history of delivering innovative business technology solutions to companies. We are headquartered just outside of Chicago and have offices in Minneapolis, Raleigh, and Bangalore, India. Our offerings fall into two practice areas. Our application development solutions feature portals, e-commerce, and content-managed websites, mobile application development, and custom application development. Our analytics solutions feature predictive analytics and BI platforms, as well as data warehouse and data integration. We are authorized SAP and Liferay training providers and offer classroom, virtual, private, and custom options. We believe training is important because once we deliver a solution, we want to make sure that those who need it know how to use it and maintain it. We are an SAP Gold partner and have been a top-level partner for nearly 20 years. As an SAP authorized training partner, we help companies nationwide maximize their technology investments and offer public, private, virtual, and custom courses. Our public classrooms are located in Minneapolis and Raleigh. Please contact us for any SAP training needs your company may have. Some of our clients, some of which are listed here, are a mixture of Fortune 500, nonprofit, and government agencies. And thank you all for allowing me to introduce you to Done Solutions. I will now hand over the presentation to Jack. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you. Give me one moment here to get to my slide. Okay. All right. As Megan mentioned, we're going to go over e-commerce growth, some of the B2B e-commerce challenges. Then we'll discuss how SAP Hybris can meet those challenges. And then we'll work into a live demonstration, followed by our question and answer session. Okay. So we have here our U.S. e-commerce sales will grow at $414 billion in 2018, according to Forrester. eMarket predicts e-commerce sales will grow to $491.5 billion, so a little more aggressive. So we can see those projections here. But that's for just regular e-commerce growth. When we look at B2B growth, we're looking at sales exceeding $1.13 trillion by 2020, according to Forrester. We're seeing nearly $1 trillion by 2018. That's more than twice the $414 billion for B2C e-commerce projection that we saw on the previous slide. So we can see our projections for 2014 to 2020. So go ahead and go to our next slide. So 74% of B2B buyers research 50% or more of their purchases online. So this is one of the reasons why it is key that B2B e-commerce platforms have a strong presence. 30% of those B2B buyers purchase online, 50% or more. Forrester expects 56% of B2B buyers to purchase online, 50% or more by 2017. And finally, 60% of those B2B buyers spend more overall when they can buy through an online and an offline channel. So not just through a website, but from multiple different options. So multi-channel. So let's discuss some of those B2B e-commerce challenges. Customers want individualized company pricing. So a company wants to be able to have prices individualized to them for their products. They may have negotiated certain prices for various different products. They may have some products that they are buying more often, so they want to be able to have the best possible price on those. Customers are also seeking the ability to request quotes and negotiate prices. They may have managers that need a quote before they can go ahead and approve for their budget, or they may want to go and negotiate on something that they're suddenly buying in high volume that they didn't have a good price established on. They want to see if they can get a better price. And finally, customers want an integrated self-service management system so that they can manage who has access from their company to your e-commerce site, who can place orders for certain dollar amounts, what your cost centers are, and put various other restrictions that they may want on their user base within their company to access the e-commerce platform. Customers, so let's talk about customers and individual customer pricing. Customers have individually established prices for various different products, and they may often have individualized prices for bulk orders. So that's to say, if you buy 5 of a particular item, you may have a certain price. If you buy between 10 and 20, you may have a different price. And then that can be individualized based on your customer. Customers are seeking the ability to request quotes and negotiate prices. So B2B customers often need the ability to request quotes for the reasons I had previously mentioned, that they may need it for approval from their manager, or they may want to negotiate a lower price because they're buying in bulk on an item they don't typically purchase. Finally, customers want to integrated self-service management. The customer wants the ability to manage who has access, so what their employees are. They want to set up their rules, limits for their employees, and they want the ability to review and approve submitted orders. So let's take a look and see how SAP Hybris can meet those challenges. First, let's discuss SAP Hybris. It's an omni-channel e-commerce platform. It provides similar customer experiences across multiple channels. That's online, mobile, point of sale, call center, social media, and print. They were initially launched in '97 and recently acquired by SAP in 2013. They have a strong product content management capabilities, customized catalogs and pricing per customer or segment if you want. It also has the ability to do B2C, but we're focusing on the B2B options. Supports multiple characteristics. And then there's a complete order management capabilities, which include approval process with rules and workflows, payment, fraud check, warehouse integration, and punch-out support. And then integration with SAP systems. 50% of B2B customers currently use SAP or SAP products. So it's a strong reason to use SAP Hybris. So we can support unique customer prices. One of the options is creating custom catalogs for each company. So we can have a master catalog with our set prices, and then we can create rules which allow us to build individual catalogs for each company. So company A, company B, and company C can have the same products. One can have products that the other one doesn't. They can have prices that overlap, same between the two, or they can also have different prices for the same product. We can all control that through our catalogs and our rules. We also can create secure customer portals, so that way company A can't view company B prices, company B can't view company C, and so on. So how can we support quotes with negotiation? Well, we need to allow those customers to select products. And the easiest way is just to do what they're comfortable with already. Just going through the site, selecting what they need, putting it in a shopping cart. We'll, of course, demo that. We can establish a threshold on what we'd allow them to do a quote. So you could say we only do quotes for purchases over $500. You could say we only do quotes for orders over $1,000. So that gives your e-commerce site some control on what you'll allow. You have your e-commerce managers that can review your quotes and offer a new price. We can also do an additional oversight, so the e-commerce manager may have a manager that will review before it goes back to your customer. And then those customers can accept, decline, or request a requote. So finally, how can we enable integrated self-management? Well, we want to allow our customers to set up their own customer approval process with a hierarchy of employees and roles. So you'll have your purchasers that would be involved in making purchases, but they may have approvers that can review their orders before it's finally sent out to you, the e-commerce platform, to be processed. And then you have administrators that can administrate, who has the roles, what your cost centers are, any other various different rules or permissions. Kind of leads into my second point about creating rules and cost centers. Finally, you can establish limits for those cost centers. So you can say this cost center A can only spend $10,000 a month. Cost center B is approved for $25,000 a month. Employee A only has a limit of $5,000 per order, so on and so forth. So you can customize any different way, and we'll kind of touch on that during our demonstration. All right, so let's discuss what e-commerce platform needs for B2B features. So custom catalog and pricing. We can do content targeting for customers. I'll briefly touch on that during our demo. The self-service account management, so they can assign rights to employees, set individual purchasing limits, configure approval rules and workflows, manage cost centers and budgets, allow them to do auto-replenishment of orders and request quotes. Multi-channel. So you want to be able to ensure that they have the same experience, whether they're online or offline or mobile. And you want that experience to be similar across all channels. Finally, for B2B platform, we want to be able to allow them to have a secure customer portal. So either they log in so they can only see their prices, or you may have it viewable but restricted for your anonymous browsers. Okay. So I'm going to go into our demonstration. And just give me one moment here. Going to Okay. All right, so we're going to go take a look at Jake's Wholesale. Excuse me 1 minute while I try and, there we go. Just trying to minimize my WebEx controls. Okay. So we're here at Jake's Wholesale. Jake's Wholesale is a B2B supplier of food ingredients and various different products. You can see we have our nice website. This can be all controlled through a content management system built in Hybris, but we're not going to focus on that today. I'm currently navigating the site as an anonymous user. Now we mentioned secure portals, but we've kind of secured it in a slightly different way, and I will show you that in a minute. We're going to go ahead and go to our product categories. And so on the product categories, we'll basically be able to see images for each of these various different products, the categories that we have, our dairy ingredients, our sweet ingredients, our specialty ingredients. Let's see if my site will work with me today. If not, I will see if I can get on our wired network. Okay, so it looks like we're up. So as you can see, we've got our listing of product categories. I'm going to just get on our wired network, just to make sure there are no more mishaps, hopefully. Okay, so we have our listing of our very different products. We're going to go ahead and look at sweet ingredients. And although I'm on wired, it's still running a little slow. So what we're going to see in our sweet ingredients is a list of various different sugars. So we have various different Domino sugar, we have US sugars, so just a various different selection of sugars. Logging in as an anonymous user, we will not see any prices on any of our products. Basically, that's how we've restricted it. We're allowing users to see what's in our catalog, but we don't want them to see prices because we want them to be registered users before they see prices. So we're going to go ahead and dive into one of these products. So you can see still no information on pricing standpoint. I do have an option to request a quote. We have it set up where you would have to register and then you can have a quote sent to you. If you had reviews or any various different information, we have a specifications tab where we could have documents. We don't make those documents available to our users if they're anonymous. But now I'm going to go ahead and sign in so we can see some of the differences when we are actually signed in as a registered user. And hopefully the site will continue to cooperate with me. So when I sign in, what we'll see is I'll be able to see the prices for that particular product. So log in here. Okay, let me go into sweet ingredients. Okay, so now you can see that we have our prices for our Domino sugar granulated. You can see I have a little icon here, indicates volume or bulk prices are available. So we'll take a quick look. So we can see our various different bulk pricing. we can definitely do customization on this. Basically, again, with the custom catalog that we had mentioned. If we go to our specifications tab, then we can see, now we can see our documents that are secured and available to our customers that we support. So I'll go back to our suite ingredients. I know we mentioned that we wanted to show custom pricing for our users. Go ahead and go to one of those products that we have custom pricing on. So right now I'm looking at sugar in the raw, and we're currently selling it for $18 a bag. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to log out of William from Pronto, and I'm going to log in as Robert, and we'll see a different price. So currently the price is 18. I'll log out, and then we'll log in, and we'll see the unique price for the other customer. Okay, so I'm signed out. So right now I'm anonymous, so that's why I can't see any pricing information. I will sign in, and we'll go to Robert. Log in. Okay, so now you can see that the price changed from $12 to $18. This is because we have a special price for this particular customer. Okay. So now I'll just go to one last thing. I'm going to go show you how our quote process works. So I'm going to go ahead and order this particular product. I'm going to add 20 to my cart. We'll go through our checkout so we can see our price. We have a custom promotion going for this customer where if they spend over $500, they save 3%. For the previous customer, it was over $1,000 and they saved 10%. We'll go ahead and go to checkout. So in a B2B platform, you want to be able to accept purchase orders, because often companies prefer to do purchase orders. I'm going to put in our purchase order number. I could set which cost center. This particular, Robert only has one cost center that he works for, so that's why he only has the one. We'll go to the next. So this will be very familiar for anyone in any type of checkout process. You'll select a shipping address, shipping method. We'll do a final review. In our final review, that's when we'll have the opportunity to see our various different options. So we could do a regular checkout. We can also do a request a quote or set up a replenishment order, and I'll show how both of those work. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully it will cooperate. And I apologize, we've been having some network issues. It has nothing to do with Hybris. Our network has been a little buggy recently. So, all right, so here I am in my final review. I can accept the terms and conditions. So I can place the order, I could request a quote, or I could do a replenishment. I know I mentioned replenishment orders briefly, so I'll just go over it real quick. You can set the date you want your auto replenishment to start. You can make the decision to have it daily, replenish it anything from 1 to 30 days if you do it on a daily basis. You could do it weekly, send it on a particular day, and you can set how often, once every week, once every 12 weeks, or you could do monthly and then select the day of the month you want to do it. We don't want to do a replenishment order today. We want to do a quote. So we're going to do request a quote. We would like a bigger discount. Okay. So I am going to proceed. And now that quote's been submitted for approval. So someone from Jake's Wholesale will get notified they'll review and make determination on that. To save some time, I've got a hang on 1 second while I change which screen I'm sharing. Okay. So we have quote has been submitted for approval. Our account manager will be notified. They'll open the quote for review, update the price, submit for manager approval. Their manager will review it. They'll open the task, review the details, and accept the quote. We log in. We see that we have a request for an approval. We open that up. We see that the total price was $540 and the base price of the item was $27. We update those prices, recalculate for any discounts, submit it for manager approval. Our manager gets notified. They log in. We see the manager approval request. We see the quote, what's changed to. We see the prices, and we can go ahead and accept. So now I will show you on the other side of things. I can review my quote that was approved. Okay. So if I go to my account, I can view my quotes, and I can see there's the quote that I submitted, but here's the one that I'd previously done for a demo. So we can view it. So we would like a bigger discount. And we can see our price was changed to $25, total of $500, our order savings, and our delivery cost. So we have the option. We could cancel the quote, we could accept the quote, and this is where our negotiation comes in. We can request a requote. We can tell them, well, we were expecting to pay $20 a bag. Can we get $20 a bag? Or we could say, we're willing to buy 100 bags at a less expensive price. So we could go through that requote process. Won't go through that. If I do accept the quote, this particular user would have that quote submitted to their approver because we have a hierarchy set up where any orders over a certain dollar amount from Robert has to go to his approver to be reviewed first. So I can accept the quote. And if our network behaves, I will have a confirmation that it's been submitted. And if not, I'll get this pretty screen again. Try and refresh. Accept quote. There we go. Okay. So now I'll log out and I can log in as our approver. Hannah. Log in. We can go to her account and view orders that require approval. So we can see this one here. We can view it, and I can approve, reject, and put a comment. Okay. So the last thing that we want to do is we want to see how self-manage works. So obviously we have a hierarchy already established, kind of seen that in the fact that Robert had to get his orders reviewed and approved, and that Hannah is an approver, so there are various different roles in the hierarchy. So let's go see how those are managed. That's managed by an administrator. We'll keep our fingers crossed that this will go ahead and work right away. But so what I'll do is I'll log in as Linda Wolf for Rustic. Try and reload. I'll log in as Linda. Instead of me telling you what I'm going to do, I'll just go ahead and do it. So we'll log in. And I'll go, so you can see now that Linda has a couple more options than everyone else has. Previously we saw my account. She has my company. This is where the self-management happens. So as you can see here, I can manage budgets. I can add a new budget or edit or disable an existing budget. Create units, user groups, cost centers, manage users, manage permissions. So let's take a quick look at our budgets. We'll look at some that are already available. So what we'll see here is our various different budgets, and they'll be should be set to various different cost centers. And hopefully, and it will work right away after I hit reload. So we'll be able to see our various different budgets we have. So we can have a budget for different cost centers. So you may have a cost center that is only allowed to spend $50,000 a year. Here we go. So we have unit cost centers. We can set the dates for those budgets, the budget amount, whether it's active or not. So we can see that we have a retail cost center, a services west, custom retail, a global, and a services east. And each of those has various different budgets. These are set mostly on a monthly, so we can see that, and we can see the weekly. If we wanted to, we can go into a budget. We can see the information. We can see the cost center. We can dig into the cost center, see any other budgets that they have. We only have the one. We're going to go to our user groups, and then we have various different permissions. So we have users as part of our limited permissions, our premium permissions, or our standard permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at limited permission. And this is where we have some additional options. So we have any order over any dollar amount has to get approved. And then we have a limit of $25,000 per month. Then we can see exactly who is falling under those permissions. So we've already established Robert Jones had some limits. So we can see him here. We also have Anthony Lombardi, who also has some restrictions on the same restrictions. If we go back, we can see our premium permissions, and we can see that those that have premium permissions can order anything up to $7,000. If they're at an order over $7,000, then it would have to be approved, and that they have a limit of $25,000 per month. And then we can see who those people are. Finally, if we add new users, we have a simple option. See our users, and then we can go ahead and just create new users. So enter their information in and their roles that are established. They can be an administrator like Linda. They can be a customer like Robert. They could be a manager or an approver. And the nice thing also is if any of your customers were to forget any of your employees were to forget their password, you have the option to simply reset their password. You don't have to go through anyone else to do that. or if you had an employee that left and you didn't want them to be able to have access anymore, you can simply disable the user. Okay. Now, not that one. Apologize, I've got two presentations here and trying to make sure I open the right one. Okay, so we've done our demonstration. And so, in recap, creating a successful e-commerce strategy is critical to growing your B2B business. Companies currently face numerous challenges in order to be successful in the B2B e-commerce space. Creating individualized experiences, increasing services and convenience. There are rising costs of smaller customers to maintain them, so giving them the opportunity to self-manage helps reduce those costs. Giving both your large customers and your small customers the same platform to be able to do everything reduces your cost overall. Your customers may have different terms and contracts, so the unique prices that we've gone over and discussed how that can be implemented. They can have special approvals, so they can establish their various different rules and their self-management. And we can have different products that can be available online, offline. We didn't touch on that too much, but those are also additional options. And then implementing a fully featured e-commerce solution like SAP Hybris provides B2B features needed to be successful. So our custom catalogs and pricing, content targeting for customers, self-service account management that's integrated into your e-commerce platform, and being multi-channel. So at this time, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for a presentation. And if anyone has any questions, this would be the perfect opportunity to ask.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you, Jack. Again, if you do have any questions, please type those into the chat box and we will address them. If not, we do hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us today.
All right, since it doesn't appear that anyone has any questions, we'll go ahead and end the webinar, but please feel free to message us if you do, and we will answer those in a timely basis. Thank you, and have a good day and good weekend.